Welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben and this is my review for Devil in Ohio. It's an 8-episode limited series which we're going to talk about, non-spoileries, but kind of give you an overview and kind of best moments, what to be looking for should you be watching this. Let's jump in. When a psychiatrist shelters a mysterious cult escapee, her world is turned upside down as the girl's arrival threatens to tear down her own family apart. I should give you a warning that there are triggers in this for some people. If you've dealt with people or are yourself trying to get over self-harm or be of abuse, that is in here. That's kind of a theme of it. Be warned. So this series is based on an acclaimed book, like many series are on Netflix at the moment. They like to kind of buy the IPs of books and then turn them into series. It's also based on a series of facts of a story that kind of happened. So it's like playing broken telephone, taking some of the facts that happened in the book and then taking some of the book and putting it in this area. So we have loosely the story that revolves around this family, but for the most part the story really centers on two characters. One played by Emily Deschanel, which you probably would have seen as Bones in the long-running TV series Bones, and also Madeline Arthur, who plays May, the runaway from this sort of cult-like family, which you discover more about as the story goes along. That is the crux, and it's really about how that character entering the family's life turns everything upside down. I would say this would be a fairly interesting drama if it didn't have the cult creepiness in it, just because the acting that is performed, the dialogue given, is much less teen angst and more realistic, like a real world. If someone joined your family, like a foster or a new member, like say your stepmom's coming to live with you because of what happened, how that is like a topsy-turvy turmoil moment for a family unit and what that looks like. I thought they did a fairly good job. We have 3 daughters, a husband who Peter, who is struggling with his business and not communicating with his wife, a wife who is struggling with wanting to save everyone because of her past and not communicating with her husband or family, and also kind of neglecting her family, her motherly duties, because she's obsessed with this thing in her brain: I need to save everyone. Then we have the 3 daughters. The youngest one, for me, is the character I like most, and she gets the least amount of screen time just because I think she has amazing presence and is probably the only one that's got her shit together. The others, including the other 2 daughters, have their own issues to deal with. One photographer that has anxiety issues or meeting people issues or standing up for herself issues. And then the other one has identity issues and also likes popularity. She hides behind popularity. So we have all these characters that are shaped throughout. There's a couple of number of other characters, like a dodgy sheriff and a detective that's the only one that's really willing to help. You see how far-reaching the cult's grip is in the town across, and maybe how much influence they have. I would say that the mystery in this is enough to keep you invested throughout the 8 episodes. I think that and the acting alone from Emily Deschanel and Madeline Arthur particularly, who plays May. Her character is the most interesting to watch because you feel like she's had a hard time. You are on her side. Beginning establishes something that's really happened to her. Madeline Arthur, who plays May, I think her performance here is the strongest throughout. Everybody does a really good job. There's no real weak link in the acting, but the way that the character of May progresses and changes throughout the 8 episodes, kind of coming into her own character, or maybe a little bit of understanding of who you are as a person once you've come out of a very tight-knit family that has a certain set of parameters and rules and establishment for your life. Once you've come out of living under fear the whole time and you start breaking out of your shell, you yourself probably don't know who or what you are. And I think they show that very well. At the same time, it's a split in character because you never quite know what she's going to do. So it's split in character for the audience. On one hand, you are rooting for, on the other hand, you are always off kilter with her. You don't quite know what she's about. The thing that's a negativity with this show, and not just this show, is a writing technique that is throughout Hollywood in films and TV series. It's the thing to do now that has become popular. A while back, it was the 360 cam that goes around your characters and the Dutch tilt camera. That was all the camera techniques. If you don't know the shot you want to do and you can't think of anything creative, like, we need something more here in the edit. We need to make it, flashy and special. They would tilt the camera or they would spin around the character and make it, well, that's a cool shot, right? That's the thing, thankfully, is starting to be droned out. But now we have in writing technique, if you want to keep the mystery, because you don't actually have that much of a mystery, and once you start revealing the mystery of the story, rather than actually finding something really smart to deliver and reveal, or you think that your story revolves around a mystery or a reveal, you'll do the thing where the characters don't communicate. And it all hinges on the characters not communicating. When there is a bit of communication between husband and wife in this series, they sort so much out, like they're on the same playing level, except they reveal a little bit of truth. Classic kind of tell of what the writers are doing with this series. And then the other character will reveal a little bit of truth. Now, if you've been in a partnership for any amount of time, you'll know one of the key things you need to have for it to work is trust and communication. And if you don't have communication, it just doesn't work. And lies will pile up. And that is kind of what happens here. Now, I'm not saying my life is perfect or we always communicate the best way, but that is something that is very evident in Hollywood writing at the moment. And it's definitely in here to keep you guessing. You just won't have the mom and daughter talk about something that would be so simple to sort out, and that you see in Emily Duchanel's character Suzanne. She plays that perfectly. I do see a lot of her Bones character here. She has a lot of dialogue, and the way she delivers that dialogue is very clinical because she is a doctor here as well, different type of doctor, but you so see the years of those kind of long medical dialogue scenes that she had to do for Bones, very much evident. I'm guessing that's partly why she got this role. I really like the multiple layers within the characters built within the series, once again shown through flashbacks between each character. There's a nice juxtaposition between Emily Duchanel's character Suzanne and Madeline Arthur May. And sometimes it's a little bit on the nose, and sometimes it forces a flashback that happened earlier in the series going, hey, just in case you forgot, you remember this? And I sometimes feel like it's a little bit spoon-feedy. People that watch this type of series are fairly intelligent and don't like to be handheld all the way. The mystery there will keep you guessing, will keep you invested for the most part. And the performances, I think, will keep you there for the most part. And then we have the costume design and the tone. And I think that adds just another layer to the series that was really fun to watch. Costume design, I think they need a mention. Very creepy, but also realistic. To enhance creativity or creepiness and tone, they sometimes cut a lot. You'll notice just within the first scene where our character May is running away, there is a shot through a cornfield, which is creepy enough because cornfield, ever since Children of the Corn, evokes a sense of horror. But then there'll be of her feet running through the corn and her hand and just of the body, and then a top position of running through the corn. All of that is cut within a few seconds. Feels like they're relying on cut and music rather than just showing a particular shot. Now for me, sometimes that takes away from the mystery and tone, but it kind of works here. It was frenetic enough, and then it goes to the kind of, oh, this is the family we're establishing moments. It also forces jump scares. So there's a lot in here to like, but there's a lot that could be of annoyance to you. I don't think the annoyances that there are in the series will be enough for me to go, this isn't actually good. I do think they could have shaved it down to 6 episodes instead of 8. There's a lot of tangent storylines that doesn't necessarily further the plot, but does give backstory to our family characters. Father, the daughters, they're all kind of to the side. But we don't need to go on the tangents of the family. It just feels like it's padding. But I also think I would have liked some more backstory on the cult of the characters that we get. Maybe that would take some of the mystery. There is a sense of supernatural here, but it never really goes into it or explains if there is any supernatural. So I'm just going to go on the edge of the... They wanted there to be, but there isn't. I'm going to give this 3 3/4 out of 5 Nicolas Cage. I would have liked to have given it a 4. I think the performances and the look of it is good, but because of the length and the amount of time they spend on certain storylines that doesn't need to go into, I can't really kind of give it that, yeah, this is really great. It's a good series. I think a lot of people will be invested in the characters. I think some people will get the ending, and I'm going to be doing an ending explained in a separate video. But just for now, I should say that it is actually smarter than you think it is. Let me know your thoughts down below. Here are 2 other reviews for you to watch. Thanks so much for watching.